In the previous videos, we have seen several stories that show God healing people. Now we will look at God's covenant for healing. When Israel was freed from the land of Egypt and on their way to the Promised Land, God made a great promise. Exodus 15 verse 26 says, "If you will diligently listen to the voice of the Lord your God, and do that which is right in his eyes, and give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of the diseases on you that I put on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord, your healer." Exodus 23 verse 25 says, "You shall serve the Lord your God, and he will bless your bread and your water, and I will take sickness away from among you. I will fulfill the number of your days." And Deuteronomy 7 verse 12 says, "And because you listen to these rules and keep and do them, the Lord your God will keep with you the covenant and the steadfast love that he swore to your fathers. And the Lord will take away from you all sickness, and none of the evil diseases of Egypt which you knew will he inflict on you, but he will lay them on all who hate you." God had made a covenant with the people of Israel. If the Israelites would obey God, then God would make sure that every disease would be kept away from them, and there would be no disease among the people of Israel. The special thing about a covenant is that there are two people or groups, and both have their responsibilities. God made a covenant with Israel. It was Israel's responsibility to keep God's commandments and rules. If Israel did this, God would keep his part of the covenant, and he would heal and keep everyone healthy. Have you ever heard the following? God does not always heal. God is not a gumball machine where we put $1 in and God gives healing. I don't believe that God is a gumball machine either. But I do believe that God keeps his covenants. If God makes a covenant and we keep his covenant, then God will keep his side of the covenant. After all, God cannot break his covenant because then he would be a liar, and God does not lie. Titus 1 verse 2 says, "God who never lies." And Numbers 23 verse 19 says, "God is not man, that he should lie, or a son of man, that he should change his mind. Has he said, and will he not do it? Or has he spoken, and will he not fulfill it?" When God makes a covenant with you and says to you, "If you do this and that, I will take care of this and that," then you have 100% guarantee that God will do what he promises, as long as you keep your own part of the covenant. Healing is a covenant of God, and God cannot, will not step out of his own covenant. This covenant of healing was not exclusive to the people of Israel. Because of the sacrifice of Jesus Christ, believing Gentiles, all non-Israelites, have been added to the covenant of God. Ephesians 2 verse 11 says, "Therefore remember that at one time you Gentiles in the flesh. Remember that you were at that time separated from Christ, alienated from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers to the covenants of promise, having no hope and without God in the world. But now in Christ Jesus, you who once were far off have been brought near by the blood of Christ. For he himself is our peace, who has made us both one, and has broken down in his flesh the dividing wall of hostility by abolishing the law of commandments expressed in ordinances, that he might create in himself one new man in place of the two, so making peace. Before, when we had not yet come to faith, we were still excluded from the citizenship, covenants, and promises given to the people of Israel. That used to be the case. But Jesus Christ, through his sacrifice on the cross, united the Israelites with the non-Israelites, which means that now believing Gentiles also receive the same citizenship, covenants, and promises as the people of Israel. In other words, we have received the blessing of Abraham and have the same covenants and promises as in the book of the law. Galatians 3 verse 13 says, "Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us. For it is written, 'Cursed is everyone who is hanged on a tree.' So that in Christ Jesus the blessing of Abraham might come to the Gentiles, so that we might receive the promised Spirit through faith. The covenant of healing has come to all believers through the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. If we keep our part of the covenant of healing, God will keep his part of the covenant.